Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Tonight we're doing a quick meal. It's a Friday night. Friday night's a good night for takeaway. This is an easy one that you can make at home, and you can vary the ingredients if you want. Just use the general base and build it from there. This one that I'm making is ricotta and spinach pizzas. So it will serve four, but here's what we need. So with this, I'm actually going to freeze two of them. So they're going to be the equivalent of like your single pizza if you go and get a pizza for one. I don't do that though. I buy a big one and eat it over a few days. That is how big they're going to be. So you can eat that any way you like it. So apart from the ingredients, which I'll go through in a little bit, you're also going to need a grill that you can put your pizzas into. So I've got to use the grill under the oven. So I've got that on now because that takes forever to heat up. I've got the potatoes in boiling because they take forever, but I'll show you what they look like in a moment anyway. And you're also going to need a saucepan or a frying pan that we can cook the spinach in, and a stirring stick. So come on in, I'll show you the rest of the ingredients. Actually, there's your 4 potatoes cooking away in some salted water. So they're going to cook for 10 minutes once they come to the boil, and then we will take them out and let them cool. The wok is just sprayed. So that was 4 small potatoes, but I actually got 5. But it's no big deal though. They are small enough. We also needed 1 garlic clove finely sliced. 2 bunches of English spinach washed and trimmed. Now, I asked for 2 bunches of English spinach. Now, English spinach to me is different. Obviously, being English, English spinach is a lot more traditional than silver beet. So they brought me 1 bunch of silver beet. So I can still use silver beet for this. A lot of times here in Australia, unless you buy the frozen spinach or the baby spinach, you can and you will substitute English spinach for this. You probably could just use baby spinach, but baby spinach is very expensive as well. So I'm using the silver beet. I've soaked that in some salted water because I've had it for a while. It's fine. It came up good. We've got 1 cup of low-fat ricotta. Now, I've used the spreadable one. If you can, go to the deli and buy the crumbly one, but it doesn't really matter because we're cooking with it. It's fine. 4 small pita bread. Now, I should know what pita bread is because I use it when I'm working at the takeaway shop. But I've actually got the wrap bread, but same thing though. So we need 4 slices of that. And finally, 2/3 of a cup of grated low-fat mozzarella. So we've got that there. So our first step was to get the boiling salted water with those baby potatoes, and we're going to cook them for 10 minutes or until tender. We'll set aside and then we'll slice them up. But while that's going on, in that saucepan / frying pan, wok, whatever you're using, we're going to start and cook the rest of it. So let's go do that now. So whether you use English spinach, baby spinach, silver beet, at the end of the day, they're all a similar item, in which way I mean that they will produce a lot of water. So they're going to basically wilt down to nothing. So this is why I've gone with the larger cooking thing, because that's not going to fit on 4 pizzas otherwise. I've got to wilt that down to almost nothingness. So next up, we'll keep that colander out for when we do the potatoes. I've got the timer on now. So the garlic that we sliced up and the silver beet is going in there. Now we want to wilt that down pretty quickly, so crank it up to the highest temperature that you can. And we're going to cook it for about 2 minutes until it's wilted, and then we will drain and chop it coarsely. Well, I've already chopped it, so I don't really feel like chopping it anymore, but we'll see what it looks like. And I've got the grill on because it being underneath, and I very rarely use it. It takes forever to heat up, so we'll see how that goes. Silver beet takes a lot longer than 2 minutes to wilt, so I'm just almost done with the potatoes. They've got a little bit of time left, but what I'm thinking of doing, what you have to do is the pita bread's got to go under for 1 minute on one side, and then you've got to flip it and then put the stuff on and then do it for 2 minutes. So the ones that are going to go in the freezer basically only need a minute because they're going in the freezer, so they'll cook when I'm ready for them. So, or I just cook them and they go in the freezer, but then they've still got to be warmed up. So probably better off getting them up to that stage with a little note on them because I'll forget that. So I'm going to I'll put the first 2 under, the ones that are going to go in the freezer, and we'll see what they look like. But this is definitely wilting down now, which is good, and those potatoes are nearly done. So my grill tray looks like this, so they probably will need longer than a minute, but we'll see how we go. They're right under the heat, and timer's got a couple of minutes, so we'll get them out in a minute, and I'll see what they look like. After 1 minute, those came out fine. So then you flip them over. We're going to, once we're ready to put the topping on, we put the topping on. 2 are going to be going straight in the freezer. Potatoes are done, so we can drain those. And our spinach is, well, silver beet starting to look good now. I'm going to leave the silver beet at that because I just don't want to burn it. So we're going to just put that through the colander, even though I don't think there's much in there. And then we'll mix the ricotta in and we're ready to go. Okay, so we're just going to put the ricotta straight into it. I changed my mind about straining it because I don't really think there's anything in here. So we're stirring the ricotta through it. And we're going to season it with salt and pepper. Now, if you're not a big fan of salt and pepper, don't worry about that part. If you do like salt and pepper, you know what to do. Crank in as much as you want or as little as you want. Okay, so the ricotta is just making it into a bit of a creamy treat. Okay. All right, let's. I think the bottom of the pan got a bit hot. That's why I'm lucky we've got this chopping board that stays on the bench. It's good for putting hot frying pans / woks on as well. There was a house we used to live at many years ago, and I think they'd actually burnt a hole. It wasn't us, I swear, in the kitchen. So there used to be, you could put your hand, they put a chopping board into the bench, but you could put your hands under it and remove the chopping board. It's very random. Sort of good in a way, though, because you could, you know, take it away and wash it. But yeah, anyway, that was fun. All right, let's go. We just need to slice up the potatoes. So it's generally going to probably end up being 1 1/4 per pizza. So it does tell us to combine, season to taste, top with potato and spinach. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the potato on first. What did I say? 1 1/4. It's not really a lot of potato. We're going to make up for it with the other stuff though. Yes, we are. It's not too bad now though. All right, quick chops. So if you're freezing them, you won't do the final under the grill part. If you're not freezing them, you will follow on. So the pizza that I'm not having today, I'm just going to cook it because, call me a weirdo, I like cold pizza. Actually, when I go and buy my kebab and my pizza, I'm always pretty full by the time I've had my kebab, but I'm there so I get a pizza anyway because I love their pizza. And so naturally I'm always having a cold pizza, but I love it, so it doesn't matter. All right, so best way to do this is we're going to divide it into 4. You know what, it really doesn't look as much once you start to do it this way. Crumble it over the top. Things like this don't really find their happy place, so don't feel the belief that if you chuck it all in the middle, it'll find its happy place, because it actually won't. Cheese will melt. Maybe some of the ricotta might find a happy place, and maybe you're a bit too scared to go close to the edge of the pizza, but in all honesty, just go as close to the edge as you can, obviously without falling off the edge. There we go. All right. So I technically don't have any left. I've just got a lot on each one, which is fine. That's what we were looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to do one, put that one under the oven. That will be today's. And then I can finish the other ones after. All right, hands. Clean hands. Now the the mozzarella's been in the freezer. It's nearly winter, so the mozzarella's pretty cold. It's been a pretty miserable sort of a day today. It's been raining, and then the sun came out not too long ago. So I decided to go and do a little bit of gardening rather than start this earlier, because I thought at least this way I can go straight and have this as my dinner, my early dinner. All right, so we're putting that under the grill for 2 minutes, and then we're going to serve it. So hang about. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. The ones I'm freezing are going into these freezer style bags. Well, they are freezer bags, that's what they're called. So in goes that one. I don't have Chinese containers big enough, or freezer bags, so these actually are freezer bags. Lucky we had them. So I'm just going to fold them like that. I'll put a little note on them. Obviously I will know what they are, informing me. So it's easier if you've got one of these chopping boards. Slide it in on this. It's not really easier. I'm making it look harder than it is. There we go. I'm going to leave that there. All right. Technically that was easier. Okay, we should be nearly ready. So I don't really need to do anything else with that other than leave it like that, because they will freeze. Same as when you buy frozen pizza that you're going to cook at home, right? Absolute same thing. Got about another minute, and then I'm going to swap that one with this one, and get ready to eat. And this is our finished product. So if you want it a little bit more cooked, leave it under for longer than 2 minutes. If you've got a better grill than me, you should be right to do that. But anyway, cut that up. That's your pizza. And thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been ricotta and spinach pizza. Enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one.